Hazmaster uses back, and we're here to review Team Sonic Racing. Now this was just released last week, and to be honest, and yep, I'm just going to dive straight in and play this racing game, and tell you what I basically think of it. So let's get started, and let's have some fun. So I'm not going to show you everything, but I'll basically give you show you a little bit of what's to offer here. So the main thing in Team Sonic Racing, the main mode in this is the story mode, otherwise known as Team Adventure. And we're going to give it a little go. Alright, so in the story mode, a Tanuki named Damper has sent invitations out to Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and all their friends to participate in a racing competition using specially designed cars he created. While his intentions seem good, especially around Big the Cat, why is Big in this? But anyway, Sonic and his friends are very skeptical about Damper and suspect that he's got ulterior motives and is working for Eggman. Turns out Eggman is in this race and does have his own motives, but we will talk about it later. I haven't completed the story yet, but basically I'll let you find out what happens.
The pieces are falling into place.
So yeah, it's the basic Sonic the Hedgehog story. You get what you're gonna see, and
it's in a race.
And I think it's alright. Here's one of the cutscenes too.
We're really doing well out there, wouldn't you say?
I would say you are here for other reasons besides winning.
What? No, I'm totally here to win the money.
Vector, I am a princess. People lie to me daily. It is my job to find the truth, so I know who I can trust.
Not too shabby, princess. All right, you got me. Truth is, I'm here because Tails contacted me when they first met this Damper guy. He wanted me to get the dirt on him.
And?
Work in progress.
So, honestly, I think the writing is handled well in here. I think the writing's better than what it is in Sonic Forces, and the characters are still the same characters as we've grown to love them. They did not all the voice actors they got most of the voice actors back, so of course you get to hear Mike Pollock as Dr. Eggman, and Roger Craig Smith as Sonic, and Cindy Robinson as Amy's always a plus for me, but there's no Travis Willingham, Laura Bailey and Quinton Flynn do not reprise their characters in this, which is disappointing. I mean, I think Travis Willingham is my favourite Knuckles, honestly, even better than Dan Green, and he's good as Zavok as well. And Laura Bailey is a really talented voice actress. I mean, yes, I didn't like how she was used in Space Chimps 2, but she's really good in this as Blaze the Cat. She's a really good Blaze the Cat and even Omochao. And Quinton Flynn, who many of you will know as Raiden from Metal Gear Solid, plays Silver, and he's my favourite Silver by far. But, honestly, I think the replacements do alright. It is hinted that both Travis Willingham and Laura Bailey did not reprise their roles did not voice their characters in this game because they've just had a child together, so they're focusing on that first. So, hopefully we'll see them back in the next game, and hopefully Quinton Flynn hasn't left the role of Silver, but
Stupid's cool, but I'm still in it to win it.
So basically, let's just watch it. So one thing I can definitely first start by saying is the best thing in this game is definitely the music. The soundtrack is handled well. Jun Tsunoy, who we all know as pretty much the godfather of music in the Sonic the Hedgehog series and the founder of Crush 40, returns to do the music for the first time, to compose the music for a Sonic the Hedgehog game for the first time since working on Sonic Heroes. Sonic Generations. That was the last Sonic game worked on to list. And And if you're a fan of Anime, Crush 40 also returns to sing the main theme song for this Greenlight Ride, which is a really good song, honestly. Not my favourite in terms of Crush 40. I personally prefer Live Life and even I personally prefer Live Life and Live and Learn more. But and even the song from Shadow the Hedgehog I actually don't mind. Like, yeah, I like Never Turn Back and I Am All of Me, and even that rendition of his world from Sonic 06 is really good. And that version does get turned in the game. By the way, this is a really good soundtrack. The remixes are handled well, the new songs are good, and yeah, it's a really good soundtrack. And praise Jun Senoue. I hope he goes back to working more on Sonic the Hedgehog from here on in. Another thing I can also praise this is the graphics. I mean, just look at this. It's a beautiful game, honestly. I'm probably playing on the Switch, but I'm sure, and it looks still good anyway. I think, even in dock mode, I don't think it's that bad. And I think it's a perfect looking, it's a good looking game. One of my favorite looking racing game. I mean, honestly, nothing can ever top Mario Kart 8 in terms of the graphics with that game. But in the end, it's still a pretty beautiful game, I think. Not just, I think the track's based on Rooftop Run, Planet Wisp, and I guess I would also say maybe, yeah, I would say actually just the Rooftop Run tracks and the Planet Wisp ones are my favorites, honestly, in terms of the graphics. I also don't mind the casino ones, they're good too. Now, all the tracks are based on previous levels from Sonic the Hedgehog and main games from Sonic the Hedgehog. So as I said, you get Rooftop Run from Sonic Unleashed, Veloska is also in this from Sonic Unleashed, you've got Planet Wisp from Sonic Colors, you've got Seaside Hill and Bingo Highway returning from Sonic Heroes. In fact, their tracks are remixed from Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing from the Sega All-Stars Racing game. So, I mean, this is made by Sumeru Digital, who made the Sega All-Stars game, so honestly, I don't mind. I think I like some of the remixes better, the remade tracks, some remade tracks better, but I wish there was a bit more originality. I mean, I don't want to keep on seeing the same zones I played through before, honestly. I think honestly I wish there was still a bit more originality, I should say.
The pieces are falling into place.
But so I basically should tell you the roster. So this is now each of the characters are split into teams of 3. You've got Team Sonic, which is your Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. Team Rose, which involves Amy, the Chao, mostly Oma Chao, Neutral Chao, Hero Chao, and Dark Chao from Sonic Adventure 2, and Big the Cat. Why is he in it? You got, for Team Vector, a new team in this, you have Blaze the Cat, Silver the Hedgehog, and Vector the Crocodile. Strange that we don't see Espio or Charmy in this. Team Dark, we of course have Shadow the Hedgehog, Rouge the Bat, and E123 Omega. And while not playable in the story mode, we also have Team Eggman, which has Dr. Eggman, Metal Sonic, and Zavok from Sonic Lost World and Sonic Forces. Honestly, it's a good roster of characters, and yeah, I prefer.
I'm eager to start.
I wish there was some character. Honestly, I'm surprised some characters got in. Honestly, I never guessed Zavok would be playable in this, and as I said, Big the Cat, why is he in this? But it makes sense with the team dynamic, which I guess I might as well talk about right now. So, each of the 15 races are split into 3 categories: speed, technical, and power, and are sorted into teams of 3. Each team must have one member of each category. Speed characters are the fastest, of course, but have problems with they do have problems with handling. Technicals are all-rounders, honestly, and so yeah. And power characters, while not having the best acceleration, are better defensive, so they can hold their I'm better against items. And now you can do many different tricks with the team dynamic. I mean, yes, at the moment I'm playing a single mission, but on. Jeez. Oh, whoops. But anyway, it's still handled pretty well, honestly. I think it's a. I'll show you a team race actually before I go back onto this. Honestly, I think it's a good enough. I think it's handled pretty well, and it's a. I'll just show you at least one of the races, honestly. So, yeah, I like playing. Personally, I think I prefer playing as the technicals and power characters. Well, okay, most of them. I mean, honestly, I enjoy playing more as certain characters other than others. I mean, I haven't yet played as any members of Team Eggman, but at the moment, I seem to be maining Silver, Amy, and Knuckles. I feel like I can handle those characters a lot more. I mean, I can actually handle Team Vector a lot, and I don't mind playing as the Chow, and even though I don't like Big the Cat, I can still handle him, but to be honest, Sonic and Tails are very iffy for me, honestly. I find that very tough to manage. So this is since you're in teams, your partners can help you out, and you can help them. As you could see before, when you're training behind one of your partners, you can ride behind them and get a bit of a slingshot, which is a boost of speed. You can also, when it comes to items, which you can request one of your friends to give you their item, and also offer them to them. So as you can see, I'm offering one of my items at the moment to my teammates. And yeah, it's also important to make sure your team does not end up in a lower rank. These are team races, so you have to make sure you keep your team in. The team gets high positions in main races, and even in this mode, which is a survival race, you have to make sure your team does not get knocked out. So it's important to keep in mind where your friends are. It's critical in this game. And while it might seem complicated, and yes, when you first play it is, I honestly find it an okay gimmick, and I've really grown to enjoy it. This is what makes this game unique. Now the cars are now just to let you know, if you're fans of Sonic, if you're fans of All Stars Transform, which is technically one of my favorite racing games, honestly. The transformated vehicles do not appear in this, which is a downer, I won't lie. I mean, I love the tracks in All Stars Transform, and so the tracks they bring back from All Stars Transform in this are let down with the fact that you can't transform the vehicle, but they at least make up for unique shortcuts. And as I said, with some of the shortcuts in this, it's best to use the power characters to. If you're driving as a power character, you can create an opening to allow others to get through. You can break through some barriers. But that's something we'll work out later. Now another thing you can also do in this, when you gather enough energy by helping people out and for your teammates, you can perform a team ultimate, which is basically a super attack that allows you to gain a massive amount of speed. And honestly, I love gaining the opportunity to use the team ultimates. They're really fun in there, and a lot of stuff. Also, it's definitely honestly, I definitely find it really enjoyable. Sorry about the rain. Honestly, it's a distraction. You guys, yeah, can't control it. It's rain. But anyway, it's still pretty fun, honestly. One of my least favorite. If that's the one complaint I have, is that is I think that it's a really like it's got a really high difficulty curve, honestly. There's no easy mode, so you just learn to normal, hard, and eventually expert when you unlock it. So yeah, this could be a little bit challenging for first-time players, and in fact, all players are going to be first-time players because no one will know about the team, how to handle the team dynamic when they first play the game. So that's a big problem. I wish there was a tutorial at the very least. I mean, it took me about 3 times to finally get a pattern out right for Team Sonic Racing when I first began. I just don't. And especially with the story mode, it's also pretty. I would recommend you play one of the other modes before you go into story mode. Honestly, if you're a first timer or when you first play this, I just jumped straight into story mode, and it took me a while to finally get my pattern out right for how to handle it. But honestly, I don't mind. I've gotten used to it now, and I can actually have a lot of fun. But still, it could have been handled a lot better. The items in this are wisps, and well, yes, I am getting a bit sick of Sonic always using wisps as power-ups. I think they handled the wisps a lot better than what they did in some of the other, say, Lost World Generation and Forces. The selection there are new wisps which are pretty cool to use as power-ups, and it makes sense. Plus, you do get the invincibility power-up in it as well, so that's pretty cool. Now, another thing I also want to address in this is the vehicle customization. As you can see with me currently playing as Knuckles, I've created some custom designs for him. Now you can get design options as well as vehicle parts from playing the game. But you can also earn it by exchanging tokens that you earn, like here. So as you can see, I'm earning some tokens. Well, actually, I did earn some tokens, and you can use those tokens in a lottery to get new car parts, which I'll do right now. Otherwise known as mod bottles. So let me just apply 2 at the moment. Now you can also get bonus boxes, which are specialties for power-ups. And all I have to say. So yeah, whoops. The first time I got a legendary part. So then you go into the garage and add the stuff that you need, that you've just earned if you want to. Stuff with Blaze. I haven't really done much with her, honestly. Now, it will change your stats, but honestly, I think it's worth experimenting, honestly. And when you've added the part that you want in, you just save it to the character.
I'm ready to roll.
Now, let's see. Now, you can also create designs for your character, for your vehicle. As you can see, I've added a lot of stuff to Sonic. I've added flames to Sonic's car. I've added Ghost to Shadows and Waves to Silver. I think I also had something from Omega actually. Oh no, I just changed his vehicles. Let's see if I can do some of Eggman actually on here. You can also change the color of their vehicle too, which is pretty cool, honestly. And change the art, the style of it. I'm doing some metallic paint for Eggman at the moment. You can also change the horns as well. So, see what I can do with Eggman. So I can suit him in terms of, I guess, it's not the vinyls, but the vinyl. I'm gonna do some of his horn. Well, I've updated Eggman, at the very least. So yeah, this is basically how it looks. And honestly, I don't know what else I can really say about Team Sonic Racing. It's a good enough game for you to check out. And yeah, I think they could have handled at least getting players into the game a lot better, or like an easier difficulty and maybe a tutorial. Yeah, they do give tips as well for this, but still I would have liked a bit more easier way to get people into this. But honestly, for what it is, it's a pretty good game, and honestly I think Sumo Digital needs to continue working on the teams on making Sonic Racing games. For a while, I mean, there weren't really that many good ones, really, until they made Sega All-Stars Racing. The Sonic Racing games were very mixed. I mean, the Sonic Game Gear games, I think the Sonic Drift series were sort of mixed in quality and lacked a lot of content. Sonic R is, well, yeah, it's very mixed. The Sonic Rivals games are sort of okay, or honestly, I haven't really heard any bad things about them, but except they're pretty well, they're not really remembered as much because they're on the PSP. And yeah, I found, and for the Sonic Riders series, I played only the first one, and I thought it was alright. I was tempted, I did want to see, I have seen Zero Gravity and Free Riders, but well, I might try Zero Gravity. I will only get Free Riders just to have in my collection. I have no plans on playing that. So yeah, pretty good. It's a pretty good game. What I'm going to give us, I'm going to give us an 8.5 out of 10 half stars. I probably would have given it a 9 if it just maybe made an easier difficulty, honestly. So, what am I going to do next? Well, I've got a plan on I'm actually planning to review a book and movie a book as well as its film adaptation, so that's something I should do, but I'm going to move some more video games. You know what? I'm going to do a special video on 6 games that were released on the same console. I'll explain more after what it is after tomorrow's video, which will be on the review of the book and the movie. So until then, Asmouse Reviews is out, and see you tomorrow. And I'm sure we can all agree. Can we try not to get more Big the Cat? Ciao.